How you doing? www.andrewmarkmusic on why identity politics. Well, this is a complicated issue. Um, it's not the issues involved are not completely unmerited, but I think once you break it down, you will find that most of what's going on is population control, mass manipulation, propaganda. Um, there's a saying in religion that most of the trouble on this planet is avoidable, and I believe that. Yes, the universe is inherently hostile. I have Gnostic leanings because of that. I think it's a very accurate cosmology as far as that aspect of it goes. But it's certainly most of what's happening on this planet today is self-induced by the plutocracy, by these 2,000 billionaires, the billionaire class that have taken over the planet. I also look to Gnosticism for an explanation for why that is and who they are. So you have a situation where someone's identity is being put first and foremost before anything else. And this is ridiculous. We all bleed red. It's one planet with one primate, barring some Gnostic speculations, which I do believe I'm right about, by the way.
One of the primary foundations of most all religion, at the best, was to disidentify with identity. So, I mean, we can look at the Eastern traditions and go, the basic premises was to say that you should not identify with your ego. The end game there was to transcend the ego. And then if you analyze Western theism, at its basic premise on this issue, it was to do God's will and to not let your ego overtake the will of something greater. So identity politics on most every level is mistaken, wrong, and insane.
So you have a situation where the old tactic of divide and conquer is being implemented big time, right? And this is to cause distraction, strife between people where it need not necessarily be. The main issue of why they want this distraction is to take the focus away from where the focus should be, and that's economic fairness. We live in extreme economic unfairness and unmerited wealth in a casino system of corruption, mass corruption globally. And this isn't to take away from the quality of life that exists today as it did 100 years ago even. There is a very good quality of life. I'm not going to argue against that. But what I'm saying is that the quality of life is based on consenting to corruption, consenting to a casino ethos, a mafia ethos. That's the price we've had to pay for this, and this is no accident. So anyway, you have these 2,000 billionaires who are causing untold strife for their personal gain. They've now taken 70% of the Earth's wealth into their pocket and are treating everybody like wallets. Their end game seems to be complete control of every transaction on the planet, financial transaction, where they get a cut of it. So every transaction would be monitored by them, and they would get a piece of it. This is in no way needs a one world government. This in no way needs a one currency. This is all, BS put out by their disinformation agents, whether religion or conspiracy theory. So you have this division being caused mainly by two polarities. You have it being caused by the multiculturalist left, right, who have delusions on an epic scale. And then in reaction to the multicultural left, you have this Aryan right as encapsulated and inculcated in Donald Trump and Steve Bannon. And make no mistake about it, it's all identity politics, and it's all there as a ruse to pick your pocket. Now this goes back a long way to the first real troublesome identity politic, which was the chosen people doctrine. So you have this ideology of the chosen people that is metaphysically, ontologically, epistemologically abhorrent and mistaken. The best explanation for this is the Gnostic, the view on what's going on there. It was always going to be a disaster to have Israel without the Golden Rule, and without the Golden Rule specifically tied to the trading of goods and services. And we have under atheist Zionism the inversion of that, the exact opposite of the Golden Rule. So not really good for anybody. They've compounded this fallacy in recent times by becoming atheists, right, and setting up an amoral atheist state where they rule by genocide for 100 years. That's how their state came into being. And then they've also implemented financial systems that are amoral at best. So it's an interesting question of what a healthy atheism would have looked like. It wouldn't look like this, that's for sure. It wouldn't look like what the Zionists have done. It does beg the question of what's happened to Christianity with the rise of Zionism and how toxic that's become. Prior to Zionism, Christianity was developing into rational modes of behavior and culture. They fought for female suffrage. They fought to end slavery, right? And all those gains have been taken away basically as far as the infiltration of Christianity by atheist Zionists and their agendas. So now you have with the rise of this toxic atheism, you have a Christianity that's fascist in nature. And they're implementing big time identity politics. Now, just to step back here as far as that tradition of Western theism, you have this very, very bizarre alliance between the multicultural left and the collectivist religion of Islam. And I've pointed out before that this is a nasty, an enemy of my enemy is my friend situation, which will not work out well for anybody. If you're asking me what's going on here, what's the end game, I think that the Noahide laws are the end game. From the Gnostic perspective, the ruler of Israel will be implemented in Jerusalem via the Noahide laws. And to have that happen, you have to have this massive foundation of Islamic people everywhere to set up that condition. You have to have Jewish power that's extraordinary for this to happen. And you need to have a toxic Christianity for this to happen. And once you set up all those conditions, you can set up perhaps the conditions for where this Messiah, this whatever this person is going to be, will set up their rule. And the Far East will most likely capitulate to it out of very little choice. So I believe that's the end game, but that is a Gnostic speculation. As far as a healthy atheist culture or humanist culture is concerned, you cannot have that and have this disparity of wealth that's going on, especially once you get to the degrees of unmerited wealth that's happening. Like the billionaire class, most of that wealth now is not merited. It's theft, you know. Now, this isn't to say that in the beginning of somebody's ventures and entrepreneurialism that it wasn't merited. It probably was at some level, but it's just gone so beyond the pale that you have now a situation where these people are not only taking all the wealth of the nations into their pocket, they're dividing and conquering everybody by identity politics and every other device that they can think of. It's just heading into what I believe it's heading into, and I may be wrong about that, but I also may be right. Obviously, I feel I'm right about it. So how do we get out of this? I'm not sure. I don't know how we're going to navigate this in any way now. Unfortunately, the internet came 100 years too late. If we had had the internet 100 years ago, we may have been able to stop this. But now it's like a locomotive, with the engineer just cranked at full speed, and civilization, this can't be stopped in my opinion. So the only way that this is going to be stopped is either the earth will stop it or the multi-dimensional beings will stop it somehow or intervene in it. And by the way, I don't view these beings as supernatural. I believe they're perfectly natural to the universe. I know that atheists are going to, hum and haw at that and say ridiculous, but that's the way I view it. I believe they're perfectly natural. Although perfect is not quite the word that I would use there. Anyway, www.andrewmartinmusic on identity politics. There you go. One of the agendas, the primary agendas of identity politics is to end freedom of speech, so that as this agenda is implemented, anybody that questions it will be at best marginalized, at worst criminalized. I think this is something that we should be very clear on and not underestimate and assess, quite accurately on why identity politics. The end game is to make sure that nobody can criticize what the oligarchy and the plutocracy is trying to implement, and that's probably to me the most important aspect of why identity politics.